Oh, hi, everyone. Will asked me to discuss with you guys my longevity routines and how I organize my day, think about my time, what I keep track of, and how I fit in Will's protocols and how I measure success for my day. So before I get into all of that, I want to recognize the issue most men face in pursuing their fitness and nutrition goals. It is time. There was a famous study done in 2015 called Young Adult Males, Motivators, and Perceived Barriers Towards Eating Healthily and Being Active. It's cited in my personal trainer textbook. And in it, there's a quote of a participant who said, I guess if you are busy, you're not going to prioritize it. There's always something more urgent. And I understand this. I enjoy the absolute luxury of time now that I'm retired, but like most of you, I did work 34 years as an actuary. And even more difficult for my fitness and nutrition, I was a primary caregiver for my mom for 12 hours a day, 5 days a week for 5.5 years. And that took a major toll on my health. So I get it. Time is finite and it is a perceived barrier. But the solution is to review and audit your time spent, cut out time wasting, and rearrange schedules so that exercise becomes a priority. Some of our guys have committed to getting to the gym at 5:30 a.m., and some have blocked their work calendars for lunchtime or for 4 p.m. fitness. Whatever your approach, your fitness is an important meeting, just like your work meetings and other obligations. Time is rare and scarce, but working on your health might be the most important thing that you can do for yourself and for your family. We all joined the Recomp Blueprint for the similar reason, to get in the best shape of our lives using the most efficient and effective protocols and coaching. In other words, to get in shape with as little time as possible. Will sometimes uses an example to illustrate efficient protocols. Let's say you're wanting to travel from Los Angeles to New York. There are different modes of transportation that you can choose. You can walk, you can use a 1972 Volkswagen, or you can fly on a Concorde supersonic jet. That's what Will's program helps you do. I earned my certified personal trainer credential in June of this year. I've written dozens of fitness and nutrition posts for our group, and I have interviewed a PhD, a medical doctor, a 90-year-old elite athlete, and a research scientist at the top of the exercise and nutrition field. A very common theme I have found in fitness pursuits is that success is all about four things: information, implementation, discipline, and consistency. These are the foundations of a winning routine. I began my body recomp 3.5 years ago, and I was an untrained 25% body fat 54-year-old. And I have achieved and maintained some great gains using Will's unbreakable habits and routines. Check out my InBody screen from yesterday. I'm going to put it up here if I can get it. My weight is 169 pounds. That's right where I want it. I have 89 pounds of lean skeletal muscle. I started 3.5 years ago with 75 pounds. And I have about 15 pounds of body fat, or 8.7%. And I started with over 44 pounds of body fat. So that's nearly 15 pounds of muscle gains and 30 pounds of fat loss. And it mostly happened in 90 days, but I've held these results for 3.5 years. So let's talk about a day in the life for me in regards to my fitness and nutrition. It's pretty routine. I always start my day with coffee, and while it's brewing, I grab a protein drink and some water, much like Will teaches and shares with us very often. I will throw a 5-gram scoop of creatine monohydrate in there, along with a packet of minerals. It consists of salt, potassium, and magnesium. I'm going to show you a sample of it right here. You guys, it's chocolate flavored salt, and it's only 5 calories. Chocolate salted coffee is exactly what I imagine heroin must be like. It's really good. I have a kettlebell that I use most every morning, and I try and do about 50 kettlebell swings and some squats, and it just takes me 1 or 2 minutes. I make breakfast, which is often eggs and yogurt, and that gets me 30 grams of protein after my 30 grams protein drink. So depending on the weather, for instance, today we have a wind chill and it feels like about 7 degrees out after being in the 60s yesterday. Depending on the weather, a top priority for me is my park walks. I have an expansive park I enjoy with lots of trees, lakes, wildlife, and it's about 2.5 miles around. And it's a great way for me to connect with nature and get some sunshine and my cardio. By the way, I've likely thrown an apple and a Quest protein cookie in my car, and I'll eat those after the park walk. This is a hardwired routine habit. I will often get my mobility and resistance training after my walk, but before lunch. That small snack gets me the fuel I need without feeling super full. I like to eat right after I lift, and I know it's okay to get some carbs with my protein so I can replenish my glycogen energy stores in my muscles. For instance, lunch might be a Chipotle bowl with brown rice or a salad or leftovers at home. But I always am willing to pick and choose my ingredients and make substitutions. I'm very mindful of food choices. It's my routine. But in any regard, I am keeping informal track of my protein as the day progresses. Before lunch, I'm at about 75 grams towards my 170-gram goal. So I only need 95 grams between lunch, dinner, and snacks. No problem. So with some intentional planning and some time management, by 2 p.m. after lunch, I have stretched, done my kettlebell movements, got my 45 minutes of cardio and a 40-minute strength training session, and I'm clocking in at about 125 grams of protein. So now what? Meal planning for dinner, stay on top of my hydration, maybe take a zombie nap, and then remind myself of successful sleep routines. What does a successful sleep routine look like? One, it's minimal or no wine, or if I have a glass, I need to be done drinking by 7 p.m. Two, use dim interior lights after sunset. Three, if possible, make a dark or a blue light protected environment after 8 p.m. And then four, set up a cool, quiet, dark sleep environment. So really, that's my intentional routine day. In case anyone's interested, this is my primary list of routine snacks. They include kefir, protein cookies, non-fat Greek yogurt, apples, premium mixed nuts, frozen blueberries, protein drinks, and a protein cereal. I like this one from Premier that's a chocolate cereal, and I put Carb Master milk or maybe almond milk on it, and I also top it off with some walnuts. By the way, all these things are almost always in my house, except I'm out of apples right now. But that raises a point I want to make, albeit an obvious one. You can't eat the right things if they are not on hand. So I'm making a trip to the store today. So as a reminder, we teach that there are 5 pillars of longevity, which are sleep, exercise, nutrition, stress management, and supplements. Many of these impact the others. For instance, sleep quality dramatically impacts nutrition and exercise. I touched on most of these in the talk right now, but just wanted to share a note on stress management. Here for me, I need laughter and I need social connection. And of course, my park walks always melt away any worries or negative feelings for me. One last point, and in conclusion, what does winning look like in my routine? I evaluate, did I score fruits and vegetables, 1 gram of protein for every pound of body weight? Did I challenge my brain with some learnings? Did I challenge my body? Did I prioritize sleep? And did I make social connections? If I achieved all of these things with my time, it was an A+ day. If you've watched some of my Zooms, you know I like to always include a quote. So for this Zoom on routines, I chose to quote Colin Pasque, and that's spelled P-A-S-Q-U-E. He is a doctor of physical therapy, and he's one of my fitness mentors. And he states, movement wasn't made for your entertainment. It was made to be mastered, explored, challenged, created, and improved upon. Showing up to do the boring work over and over and over again is the only true route to mastery and success. There are no shortcuts, just work. Keep showing up and don't give up. So I hope that inspires you as it did me. And thank you very much for listening. I appreciate your time very much.